show you how to plant seeds on toilet paper. We can be planting this indoors. Today it's really cold and rainy out. We'll put it on the toilet paper and have it ready to plant in the garden when the weather turns nicer. I'm just using an old milk cap lid and a little bit of flour, a little bit of water. We want to make a paste, and we stir this up where we can mix, make a little bit of paste like a wallpaper paste or a little bit thicker. We're going to be planting today cherry bell radishes, ruby queen beets, and carrots seed. So we get this mixed up, we'll get the toilet paper laid out. I use Scotch. You could use any kind of toilet paper, anything that will dissolve readily. We're going to take this and lay this out in the garden, as you'll see later, and you can plant the seeds very quickly. You have availability of spacing it out. This is a little bit too thin yet, so we'll add a little more flour. This will make you more than enough paste for the day. First, we are planting radish seed. We're going to use a pair of tweezers that's sort of wide on the end. Anytime you have a round seed, you need to use the wide tweezers versus the needle nose, which is over here. The needle nose, with round seeds, you end up chasing the seeds all over the place. We're going to space the radishes out. This is a roughly 3.5 by 4.5 piece of each sheet of toilet paper. We're going to space these out. We're going to dip it into the flour and water mix, and because we want to space these out like they need to be spaced in the garden, we're going to space in 1, 2, and 3. Next time we go back, we're going to space interspace, 1 here, 1 here, and then the next time on the next, just about the next where the seam is in the toilet paper, we will go back with 1 on the outside, 1 in the middle, and 1 back on the outside. Then our next sheet, as we move it along, we will do just the opposite. We will put 1 in the middle here, 1 in the middle there, and then in the middle of the sheet, we will put 1 on the outside, 1 in the middle. Sometimes they're hard to get off the tweezers. And 1 on the outside. We should really space these a little bit closer together. And you can do this as long as you want ever make your row. So that takes care of the radishes. We're going to do carrot seed because carrot seed is very small. Then I get a little bit of the paste on the tweezers, and then dip a few carrot seeds into the paste. These we're going to space about 1.5 inches apart, and as you can see, I've got a number of carrots in the paste itself, so you don't have to keep going back to the stockpile all the time to get each individual seed. You got a number of seeds laying in the paste, and you can keep going back. Now we're going to stagger these, so when they grow they will be between each other. That one needs a little more paste to get it to stick good. As you'll see later on, this needs a lot of paste to stick. As you see later on, we're going to allow all these to dry, and we can leave these laying around any place for a number of days while we're waiting on the garden to dry out or the weather to get nicer. So we just sort of roll them up or coil them up. The paste will dry, the flour water mix will dry and hold the seeds onto the toilet paper during that time. It makes it much easier to go out and plant these seeds. You can plant all these seeds in a matter of 4 or 5 minutes. They're properly spaced in the garden, so you don't have to go back later on your hands and knees trying to keep from falling face first into the dirt, spacing these seeds out to where they would not grow into each other. We're going to do beets on the toilet paper, but because the seed is considerably larger, it's going to take more of the flour water mix to stick it to the container. Because the beets have got to be spaced out quite a ways, we're going to end up putting about 3 across the top. And then we'll come halfway down in the sheet of toilet paper and put 1 in the middle on each side. And then we'll come back down to where the dividing line is and put another one. Now beets, when they sprout, sometimes they will sprout 2, 3, 4 plants per seed. And you will need to go back later on when the seedlings get up a couple inches high and pull off all but the best of the plants per each hill. Otherwise your beets will be so crowded together that they will not grow good together. So we will just keep doing this. As you can see, they're spaced a couple inches apart. We just keep pulling the toilet paper down as we go. It saves an awful lot of time in the garden. You're not down on your hands and knees trying to keep from falling face first into the dirt, or spilling the seed all over, or getting the seed too thick or too thin. And we're doing this on a very cold, probably no more than 40, 45 degrees. It's rainy and it's windy and cold out, so we can do this long before we ever have to get in the garden. And later on, what we'll do is we'll take our hoe and make a trench about the width of the hoe, unroll the seed, lay it in the trench, cover it up with some finer soil, and you've got your seeds. Previously we did the radish seed, and there was approximately 60 radishes we planted on that toilet paper. Then we did the carrots, which comes out to around 200 carrot seeds. Now of course they all don't get 100% germination, but at least you're planting more than what you'll really need in case some of them don't mature. We've completed putting the beets on the toilet paper, and we've allowed a couple hours for it to dry, and now the seeds are fastened to the toilet paper. We can just take the toilet paper and fold it up, put it any place where it stays dry until we're ready to take it to the garden. I do mark on the end the length so I know how big of a trench to make each particular seed. We folded the beets up. Now we're going to fold up the carrots.